freeze warnings there. And then once we head into your Friday, a high of 58, that's where we're expecting more rain to start to move back into the area, especially if you're located in the Thumb. On Friday, more occasional rain showers into the weekend. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Current temperature at WSGW, 37 degrees.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, indeed, Westside Decorating Center, located at 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Newly expanded showroom, newly expanded product lines. They now carry countertops, quartz, granite, porcelain. You'll find it all for home decorating at Westside Decorating Center. And on Focus today at 11 o'clock, we'll be talking with Mike Stoddard from Westside Decorating Center. Also at 10 o'clock this morning, Dr. Gregory Mattingly, he is a psychiatrist, will join us to talk about the shortage of medication for ADHD. That'll be coming up after the 10 o'clock news. But for now, we are broadcasting at the law offices of Carol Thomas. And guess who's sitting next to me this morning? As I live and breathe, it's Carol Thomas.
It is.
Funny thing
Here I
about
am,
that.
yes.
Here we are in your law offices. My goodness gracious. And lo and behold, who do I find here but you?
I decided to show up this morning.
Well, I have to start with the question I always ask. What's new and elderly?
Well, there's something actually very interesting out there. And when COVID first started, they instituted the Emergency Declaration Act in Washington.
Yep.
So that's been on, and it's been a pretty big issue that President Biden just signed, that we no longer need the Emergency COVID Act. So it is actually stopping May 11th.
Okay, so May 11th, the Emergency Act goes away. In other words, our COVID emergency theoretically is over.
Exactly.
Okay, so
what does that mean for us?
Yeah,
here?
what does that mean for us here?
What that means is, because what we do in my office is we get people eligible for Medicaid to pay for individuals that are in nursing homes.
Sure.
And it's a great thing. We can protect a lot of the assets, so it's wonderful. But what the state has not done, and no state has done it since 2020, is they haven't done what's called redeterminations. And federal law prior to that required that once a year, redetermination has to be done to make sure that someone still is eligible for Medicaid.
Okay.
So I recently heard, actually on this radio station, the estimate is there are 18 million people in the country on Medicaid that probably are not eligible right now. Now, a high majority of that will be the health insurance Medicaid, and we don't deal with that at all.
Right.
But where it really comes to home for myself, my office, and my clients we have a lot of clients in nursing homes on Medicaid. And prior to this, once a year, we would do redetermination, show that the assets were still at the level that they need to be at. But without the redeterminations, we're already getting phone calls because letters are going out from nursing homes that you may not be eligible for Medicaid. So it's even more than our clients. But what we're really concerned about, and we've talked a lot about this in my office, is in this area, we think there are a lot of people in nursing homes on Medicaid that aren't eligible, and immediately they're going to be.
Now, is that because they haven't got the protections?
Probably. And I was just reading an interesting article this morning, a misunderstanding about what it takes to get on Medicaid. And prior to 2020, for someone to get on Medicaid, they really had to go through a lot of paperwork and proof of what are assets. But since then, it's been kind of, because the government hasn't been checking, caseworkers have done the best that they can, but clients really don't understand. We run into clients all the time. If mom has a bank account and the daughter's name is on the bank account, the daughter assumes, well, that doesn't count for mom's assets when she's in the nursing home because my name is on there. I don't think the daughter intentionally was trying to get mom on Medicaid when she wasn't eligible, but I think there are many, many cases out there where someone is on Medicaid in a nursing home and they're not eligible.
So explain to me this. there are financial considerations to be on Medicaid,
Yes.
your assets and all of that. When you put the home, for example, in a trust,
Hmm.
how does that qualify the person for Medicaid? Is it now because the trust owns the house rather than the individual?
No, and it's a little bit different for married from single.
Right. Okay.
By-
Let's talk about marriage up
All right,
front.
let's talk about married. For a married couple, if you put the home in the trust, that artificially raises how much money they have. In other words, if a married couple has $100,000 life savings and they have a home and the home is in the trust, and let's say their home is worth $50,000.
Cheap
this-
home.
Okay. All right. The state will say, oh, they have $150,000 of cash assets.
Hmm.
So now the spouse at home gets to keep half because the home was artificially elevated with that number. They get to keep all their money because the home was in the trust. And that's why I so encourage people to get trusts. I had someone in actually earlier this week. Wife is going into a nursing home. If they had had a trust, I could have had them on Medicaid that day.
Okay. So here's the part I don't understand. In talking to you over the years, you don't put big cash accounts in trusts, right?
I don't. Most
Okay.
lawyers do. I do not.
All right. So if Joe Blow and his wife, Jane Blow, one of them goes into a nursing home
Mhm.
and they have a trust, their house is in that trust, but their cash assets are in the bank, right? Can't the state come along and say, well, you have those cash assets? How do you protect that money that's not in the trust?
If they work with us, we get it all protected.
Yeah, I can see by the smile on your face.
Yeah.
How
no.
how do you do that?
Well, it does get complicated, Art. And I'll tell you, I do a lot of seminars, and it's the number one question at the seminar. So you're telling me, Carol, that you don't put the money in the trust, but we need the trust to get everything protected. And I say, yes, that is actually what happens, because we need the trust has language telling the state we want the money protected. And then the power of attorney has different methods that we get all those assets protected. And Art, for a married couple, I don't want money in the trust. And do you know why that is?
No, I don't.
Married
That's
couple.
why I asked.
Okay. In a nutshell, to get a married couple, one spouse on Medicaid, we have to transfer everything over to the other spouse. Now, if they have all their money in a joint trust, do
Yeah.
you see, we can't get them on Medicaid. We have to pull the money out of the trust and give it to the spouse who's not in the nursing home. So that's where I'm telling my clients every day, I don't want to put money in your joint trust, but we still need the trust to get things protected. It's a complicated, it's why it took me 5 years to learn how to do
Okay.
Medicaid planning, but it works.
It is a curious thing, though. I mean,
It
and-
is. Yes.
And of course, you're dealing with the government, which is curious in its own right.
Yes.
It's- Just thought I'd bring that up. Is there anything new in the elder law segment in this state anyway?
It
Other
looks,
than that,
no, other than that, it looks like they're going to be doing some statutory changes on our financial powers of attorney, but it's not going to affect anyone that's already got powers of attorney done, because the state would never expect us to go back and change the power of attorney.
well, when you say
So-
changes, what kind of changes are we talking
Just
about?
who has to notarize, who has to witness, and
Oh, okay.
it's coming down the pike in a few months. But other than that, I don't know of anything that's really.
And they're doing
changing.
that because they have nothing else to do with their time.
Yeah, that's actually, I was going to say that myself. But I really want to emphasize with the powers of attorney, Art, it's really disappointing how many people come to me. They want me to save their assets because now either a parent or a spouse is in a nursing home. And if they don't have the right powers of attorney, meaning the documentation that we need to do the transfers, can't help them. And it's getting more and more difficult to help people.
All right, we're going to take a break. If you have any questions about elder law, you can give us a call at 989-752-6111 and chat with attorney Carol Thomas. I will tell you her advice is going to be relatively generic during this conversation because she doesn't know your exact situations. None of it is intended to replace a visit to her office or the elder law attorney of your choice, but she will at least direct you in the right direction. 989-752-6111 is the number to call. We are going to take a break, and then we will be back with more from the law offices of Carol Thomas.
The Home Builders Association of Midland invites you to the Home and Outdoor Living Expo. Joint event sponsors Horizon Bank and Dow Credit Union, and support sponsor Rent Right. Saturday, April 29th, 9 till 6, and Sunday, April 30th, 11 till 4 at Dow Diamond in Midland. Visit indoor and outdoor exhibitors, concessions all weekend, and Family Fun Day sponsored by Lawrence Smith Windows and Doors on Sunday from noon till 3. Hourly giveaways and a chance to win a suite for 20 and a $500 food and drink voucher to a Loons baseball game.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or RA. Xeljanz tofacitinib is a pill for adults with moderate to severe RA when tumor necrosis factor blockers did not work well or could not be tolerated. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain, swelling, and help stop further joint damage. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections. Don't start if you have one. Before and during treatment, your doctor should check for infections like TB and do blood tests. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers including lymphoma and lung, blood clots, serious heart-related events, tears in the stomach or intestines, and allergic reactions have happened. People 50 and older with heart disease risk factors have an increased risk of death. Tell your doctor if you've had hepatitis B or C, have flu-like symptoms, are prone to infections, or have ever had a heart attack, stroke, clot, or other heart problems, or swelling of lips, tongue, throat, or hives. Ask your doctor about prescription Xeljanz. Visit Xeljanz.com or call 1-844-XELJANZ.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Demand for durable goods picked up last month, increasing 3.2%. Durable goods orders include expensive manufactured things built to last for years, everything from refrigerators to cars to airplanes. Economists were expecting an increase of just 0.5%. Boeing shares are higher. Its defense, space, and security business had a stronger than expected quarter, though Boeing lost more money than forecast in the period. Regulators in the United Kingdom have blocked Microsoft's takeover of video game business Activision Blizzard. They allege it would limit competition in cloud gaming. Microsoft says it will appeal. Microsoft shares are higher, so are those of Alphabet, parent of Google, after both reported better than expected earnings. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show from the law offices of Carol Thomas. And Kay is in Midland, and Kay is on the phone. You are on with Carol Thomas. Kay, good morning to you.
Good morning, Carol.
Good morning, Kate.
I have a trust with you that I did in 2004. I have a couple of questions. My one question, I just listened to you about not putting investments in the trust. And actually, I did some annuities and so forth with Joe from your office. And we put them in as beneficiary to the trust. Is that correct?
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect to make the trust the beneficiary
Okay.
in a lot of situations.
Okay, and so that's what I've done with all my investments. The trust is the beneficiary. Then I have one other question. I was going to actually call your office today. I have talked to the Register of Deeds on another issue. We bought land many years ago that was in my maiden name. And they also suggest that I go there and bring my trust there and register my trust for the house. Do I need to do that?
I actually don't recommend it. I think it's better that if you don't, because we do have to change deeds if someone ends up in a nursing home, whether they're married or single. So I would say I don't recommend it. And deeds in Michigan are totally valid once they're notarized. Some states are recording states, which means you have to record the deed or it's not valid. But it isn't that way in Michigan. So I actually don't recommend recording the deeds when they're put into a trust.
Okay, because that's what she was telling me, that it would go through probate if I did not register, even though I had a trust.
I hate to say she's wrong, but she's wrong.
Okay. Well, that's why I wanted to talk to your office to clarify this, because there is a $60 fee, and I'm in Midland to run, and I am in Bay County. Even though I have a Midland address, I have to run to Bay County to haul it there to find out I did it wrong or whatever. So I thought I'd go to the source, and you are the source.
I'm glad you did. No, do not record the deed, and that's totally false. If a home is in a trust, it does not go through probate.
Okay. Well, that's what I wanted to clarify that. I thank you and have a good day.
Thanks for calling, Kay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. So explain some of these things. Recording a deed, what does that mean?
Recording a deed means once someone has a deed, they take it to the Register of Deeds, so it's public record.
Is that not required?
Certainly, if you buy and sell property, yes, it's required.
Okay.
But just putting a home into a trust, it does not have to be recorded.
All right.
Because you still have the same owners. Nothing is changing.
Okay, so in the trust, the same owners' names are on the...
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
They're just, on the deed, it says they're owners as owners of the trust
Right.
that own the property.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure. It's so confusing. And of course, since we're on that, we might as well talk about your favorite topic, putting your child's name on the deed.
Yeah, I think I will actually say it is my least favorite topic because it's so frustrating, Art. I don't understand why people do it. I have to say anything with nursing home protection or even when you die, if you think it's a shortcut, it doesn't necessarily work.
Well, I will say this. Well, I've never done it, but I understand why people do it. They love their children, and they think, without knowledge of the law, that they're doing a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they think.
Right.
And they find out otherwise when?
When a child needs long-term care, we had that happen just a couple weeks ago, and the parents have added the child's name on the deed. So part of the value of the home has to go to pay the nursing home. That's when the people never think about. But as people are living into their 90s and their children are in their 70s, it's not uncommon that children go into nursing homes and parents. We actually, in the last month, I think we had 3 families where the parents were still living when a child was going into a nursing home.
Wow.
So it's just things that people don't think about. And actually one that I was dealing with yesterday.
Let me interrupt just for a second to clarify something. There was, I always understood anyway, that there was like a 5-year gift rule. That beyond 5 years, it doesn't count as a gift anymore. Is that also true? If you had your child on your deed for 30 years,
mm-hmm.
Does that matter at all? Or does it the same problems going into a trust?
The same problems would happen if the child goes into a nursing home.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because the child owns part of your home.
Okay, so that's a child's asset.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So don't put your children on.
Don't put your children in. What we ran into yesterday, and this is not uncommon, parents have added their children's names on the deed. And I met with the children. They took mom and dad's money and put new windows into the home. Mom and dad's total assets were maybe $40,000, and now mom's going into a nursing home. Dad has died. So they put all the money into the home. But mom doesn't own the home anymore. Mom transferred the home to the children. So that is considered
Oops.
a gift. So unbeknownst to them, they did a $10,000 gift by putting these windows into a home that mom doesn't own anymore. So that's where you've got to be so careful. And it's these situations that I think are going to pop up with the redeterminations of everyone in nursing homes, that they haven't done any redeterminations in 3 years. They're going to find a lot of situations like
So if
this.
the state is going to do redeterminations, are they going to come to you for your clients? How do they
Oh yeah,
do
they'll
that?
be mailed a letter and saying the redetermination has to be done. And we used to do redeterminations for our clients every year on a yearly basis. We haven't in the last 3 years because the state hasn't required it.
Right. So
No.
it's just going back to what you were doing anyway.
Exactly.
No difference.
No difference. But I'm expecting a lot of people that maybe didn't get guidance from an elder law attorney may have some issues that they're not aware of.
Is this something people are going to worry about without having to worry about it? In other words, can they call you now and find out what to do, or should they just wait till they get the letter?
We've already gotten phone calls, and I think it's a good thing to take a proactive step and say, what do I need to do? Could you go over everything and make sure we're okay?
Because obviously, if you're in the nursing home,
Mm-hmm.
you're racking up the bills. Medicaid is paying those bills.
Exactly.
If you get a redetermination against you, that
gotta-
bill's not yours.
Exactly.
Uh,
And they're not going to go back and say you owe for the last 2 years. They're not going to do that.
No.
Thank heavens. They're not going to do that. But it takes time to correct things. And meanwhile, you might be responsible for $10,000 to $12,000 a month.
and this is not the state. This is the federal
It's actually the
release
federal.
of the law, right? The
Exactly.
federal government said the law is no longer needed.
Mhm,
We don't need the COVID protection, so to speak.
exactly.
So now the states, though, are charged with doing the redeterminations. Is that right?
Exactly. Mhm.
And is every state different in how they
You know,
allow
Art,
Medicaid?
a little bit. It's different on how you get Medicaid in other states. And I don't know the other states. I know as far as married couples, we're one of the best in the whole country because we can save
Right.
everything if people do things the right way. How the other states will do redeterminations, I'm not sure. And it's going to be rolled over the next year. When it starts June 1st, it's going to go back on everyone that got on in June sometime in the
Yeah.
last few years. And then they'll do July. And
I know we've talked about this before, but here we sit in Michigan, and you write your trusts under Michigan law
Mhm.
as required by Michigan. If,
May I cut you off?
of course.
I will anyways. I don't write my trust to follow Michigan law. I write my trust that to follow the law of the state where you're a legal resident when you die. So when people
Well,
move,
okay. Well,
Yes.
you anticipated my next question.
oh,
you see.
okay. Yeah.
But for most people coming in to the state of Michigan, which is their permanent residence, is where they expect to die,
Mhm.
you write the trust for the state of Michigan. So, yeah, sort of. Okay. But if couple A lives in Michigan and they have a trust with you written according to whatever law you write it to, and they move to Florida as snowbirds for 4 months of the year,
Mhm.
that trust still good in Florida?
Yes. But depending on
I knew there was a but.
if they own real estate, you're going to have to
Real in
take care of
Florida,
it.
you mean?
Right. Well, I mean, it
Okay.
depends where you have real estate, where you have to take care of things when they die. But I was reading just recently on how many people in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, all the surrounding states, if the parents go into a nursing home, they ship them back to Michigan because we do have the best rules.
Okay. So let us take this couple A.
Okay.
They own their home here in Michigan and they have a trust with you.
Okay.
Now, they also own a home in Florida, as it happens.
Okay.
Do they need a trust in Florida to protect that home?
No. It's protected by our trust. And if one of them goes into a nursing home, we protect all the real estate, no matter where the real estate is,
Okay.
Hawaii or wherever.
Doesn't
it would
matter
be.
where it is.
Doesn't matter.
It's where the trust is written,
Exactly.
basically.
Exactly.
All right. I think I have that.
But we did have problems once
Of course.
with a couple that owned property in Iran. And you have to do up to
Where?
Iran,
Okay.
Con-
That's what I thought you said.
country of Iran. And the state requires certain things at the time, and it's certainly easy to get from any state in
Right.
this country. Well, the family didn't have access to some records in Iran, and the caseworker said, we require this. And so we said, who's going to go to Iran and get this information? So they let it go with a property in Iran.
Yes. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back. We're talking to elder law attorney Carol Thomas. You can give us a call, 989-752-6111. I want to talk about my car dealer, McDonald Ford. I've been buying cars there for years. I've known the McDonald family for all the time that I've been in Saginaw, almost 50 years. McDonald Ford, of course, is owned by Tom McDonald Jr. and his son, Tommy III. And they are a Ford dealer in Freeland, but they want you to know that they are so much more than a Ford dealer because their pre-owned lot has all kinds of marks on it. I've driven a Chevy Silverado pickup from their lot. Right now, I am driving a Ford product. It's a Ford Ranger Tremor package. Great off-road vehicle. Well equipped. It's a 2022, but it's part of their pre-owned vehicle lot. You'll find Chevys, Cadillacs, Jeeps, Lincolns. There's an Audi on the lot. I've seen a Mercedes on the lot. So there are all kinds of vehicles for you. And they've all been through their 100-point inspection. So you drive away with confidence. But if you have a problem, they have a service department, and that service department can handle everything from the most minor repair to the most major repair. And if you need some body work, the Drive Collision Center stands ready to help, which, by the way, is where I will be broadcasting this Saturday morning from 8 to 11 because McDonald Ford is going to have a big car show, part of the Freeland Walleye Festival. We will be there from 8 to 11 this Saturday at the Drive Collision Center, where also the Quick Lane Center is located. And the Quick Change Lane is where you get your oil changes and all the minor service you may need. McDonald Ford, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland, a family-owned business. Stop in and visit them today. You'll be glad you did.
When you choose Garber, you're also choosing to help make things better for great community organizations like Camp Fishtails. And it never costs you a penny more because of the Garber low price guarantee. Camp Fishtails Executive Director Shannon Forsey. Shannon, Camp Fishtails is coming up on their 30th summer of camping. Anything special planned?
May 13th from 12 until 2, we have an open house at camp where people can come and take tours of camps, and we have a luncheon. And there will be a celebration there as well as a ribbon cutting for our new adaptive playground.
Shannon, I hear there are some employees at Garber that have really made it their mission to help make things better at Camp Fishtails.
Tarek over at Garber Linwood and Garber Midland, I'm from Midland, and they're just amazing people and always willing to help out whenever they can. Yeah, we've had a really good relationship, and we're very lucky that Garber is involved with Camp Fishtails as much as they are.
Everybody knows you'll do better at Garber.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to three key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
All right, we're back with you. We're talking to Elder Law Attorney Carol Thomas, who, by the way, has a seminar coming up. And that will be May 17th on wills and trusts. Times of the seminars. And people must register, right?
They have to register because there's a limit on how many we can take. So they can call my office at 989-793-2300.
Limited seating, so do call, and no charge.
No charge.
And great cookies.
Great refreshments.
Great
yes.
refreshments. All right, we have callers. Carl was in Saginaw. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Carol, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
One quick question. The wife and I do have a trust written approximately 10 years ago, but the children have moved, but they still reside in Michigan. Does that warrant any kind of an update, or are we still good with our old addresses?
Did we do the trust for you?
No, you did not.
Okay. Because I'm hesitant to answer for other lawyers. We actually don't put addresses in the trust, so it would be irrelevant. But I would say you most likely don't have to change anything in the trust because of an address change.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon.
Thank
you. Thanks. Wayne is in Saginaw. Wayne, good morning.
Good morning, Carol and Art.
Good morning.
I'm a farmer. I farm under a corporation. My land is in a trust under my wife's and my name.
Okay.
When I pay rent to myself for the property, should I put the rent money into the trust name or just my name and spend it as is?
Do you have a revocable trust or an irrevocable trust?
Can't tell you.
Because sometimes for farmers, did we do the plan for you?
No.
Okay. Sometimes attorneys will do irrevocable trust for farmers, and it's really a case-by-case situation whether the rent money should go back into the trust. If it's a revocable trust, absolutely does not need to at all. So it really depends upon the type of trust and kind of a lot of other circumstances. You might want to call your attorney and get that answered, especially if it's irrevocable, because a lot of it has to do with how much rent you get, the size of your estate, your health, your wife's health. So I would call your attorney to see what you should do if it's irrevocable as far as any rent money.
Okay, I believe it is irrevocable. And I believe, how do I get money out of it then to live on if I don't get my rent money?
Since we didn't draft the trust, I can't really answer that for you because different lawyers draft them differently. Again, I hate to say I can't answer this, but I really can't. I need you to ask your lawyer because he would have drafted it. And again, there are different ways that money can be taken out. It can get very complicated taking money out of an irrevocable. So make sure you.
And I know I did sell some property, so I did have to open up a separate bank account in the trust name for that to be deposited in too. So I can just take that out of there at any time too, or is there?
No,
because
I'm not saying
I paid taxes on it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you can just take it out of the irrevocable. Talk to your lawyer because there's several steps you have to go to take anything out of an irrevocable trust. So call your lawyer and find out how it was drafted, so you know how to take care of that.
Okay.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Wayne, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
So,
yep.
We do need to define revocable and irrevocable.
I was afraid that was coming. Revocable. Think of the word revoke. You can revoke it. You can change it. Very simple. It's the trust that I do for nursing home protection.
Okay.
Irrevocable is often done for families that have farms or maybe cottages up north, something that they know they want to stay in the family even if there is down the road a nursing home situation. Because, Art, as you know, I've always said, we can save 100% for a married couple.
Right.
Easy. For a single person, we can only save 60%.
Right.
So that's where potentially part of the farm would have to be sold or a cottage would have to be sold.
Okay.
So an irrevocable takes
Protects
care of
that.
that. Mhm.
Okay. We'll take a break, come back. When we return, we'll get to Sally in Midland in just a couple of moments here on WSGW.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Get the party started early every Tigers Friday home game with the new Party in the Park presented by Casamigos. This Friday, we're throwing it back to the 90s. Get in the ballpark early for pregame happy hour on the Comerica Landing, $5 drink specials, and live music. Plus, 90s-themed entertainment throughout the game. Let's have some fun this Friday when your Tigers take on the Orioles. Tickets at Tigers.com.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation-based, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I'm Howard Mackler. Innovation Refund. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to GetRefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to GetRefunds.com, GetRefunds.com.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. We're at the law offices of Carol Thomas. Carol Thomas sitting next to me. Those of you on the screen can watch us. And callers waiting for us. Sally is in Midland, and she is up next. Sally, good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Hi. My question is on beneficiaries.
Who should be the beneficiary on a Roth IRA, the trust or a person?
Boy, I would really have to know a lot more about your personal situation. If it's just going to one person, I don't have any problem with that person being on there. But sometimes if it's going to more than 2 or 3 people and you have your contingencies, if one of them dies, it might be a good idea to just make the trust the beneficiary. Every circumstance is different.
Okay. So would that apply also for beneficiaries on brokerage accounts and traditional IRAs?
Yes. And again, if you have just 1 or maybe 2 children as beneficiaries, then I sometimes say it's much easier to just make the person the beneficiary, because then when you die, I'm assuming that you don't have a spouse at this time, or are you married?
I'm married. I have a spouse, but we have separate trusts because we were married later in life.
Okay. All right. So you could name your husband, but if you choose to just name your children, you can do that. And it's easier when you die if your children's names are on there, because all they need is your death certificate. If the trust is the beneficiary, it's more complicated, because then the institution has to see the trust. You have to open up a special trust account. So it makes it a little more complicated when you pass away.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks a bunch. You're a big help.
Thanks,
Good.
Sally.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
In Saginaw, we have Jan with us this morning. Jan, good morning to you. You're on with Carol Thomas.
Hi, good morning. Carol, both my husband and I, who are both still living, of course, and we did a trust with you in 2005, so it's extremely old. At that time, we had, I believe, put our home and cottage in that trust. The cottage has since been sold. Do we need to have this trust updated because that is no longer ours?
No, not at all, because I assume that we didn't record the deed putting the cottage into the trust, so you can just tear up that deed and nothing needs to be updated at all. I mean, even though it was 2005 and there have been some rule changes with trusts, your trust doesn't have to be updated. The state would never expect people to have to update their trust, because sometimes people do this and then there's a stroke or dementia or something may happen. So no, you're all set. Trusts do not have to be updated.
Okay, I guess we'll just leave things as they are and be happy.
There you go.
You are all set.
Happiness is good.
Thank
All right, Jan.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. In Farwell, we have Glenn with us this morning. Glenn, good morning to you. You're on with Carol Thomas.
Hey, good morning, Art. I missed most of the show. I'm catching it late, but I heard Carol say, I'm a little confused. I think I heard her say that she does revocable trusts usually for nursing home purposes. I always thought it was irrevocable.
The basic estate planning that I set up, I always use revocable trusts. And I always tell people that's the first step to nursing home protection. If someone, and again, it's different married or single, but if
We're
married, if then one spouse goes into a nursing home, we may or may not, it depends on a lot of factors, but we may have to put some of the assets at that point into an irrevocable trust if the spouse is going to be staying in the nursing home long term, and we have to put the assets in the irrevocable trust for just a year and 1 day, and that's how we can get the person on Medicaid.
But you can start with a revocable trust, and you don't have to wait 5 years. I mean, nobody's in a nursing home now. We're in pretty good health and everything, but just I'm looking at, we have wills right now, and I'm looking about trusts. So we could just go to a revocable trust and we'd be okay?
Yes, do you have real estate?
Yes.
You absolutely need a revocable trust. I can't emphasize that enough. Anyone over the age of 50, if you have real estate, you need a revocable trust, because if nursing home happens and no one knows when that will happen, we need to have this done in order to get things protected. And, maybe, might be too long a drive for you. I don't know, but you might want to come to my next seminar. People really enjoy hearing everything and understanding the importance of getting things done ahead of time. It's been just really discouraging recently when people have a will And let's say your wife has a stroke and she's in a nursing home, and I say to you, I'm sorry, can't help you. You've got to spend $12,000 a month. It's really hard, Art. So seminar may be a consideration for you.
And they're free.
And they are free.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I really appreciate that. Again, I always thought it was that you had to have an irrevocable trust, and I guess I'm wrong.
Just misinformation. So no, start with, it's so simple. When people set up their estate planning with me and they realize they have now everything potentially protected if they're a nursing home, they can't believe how easy it is.
One piece of advice, Glenn. Obviously, since there's a misunderstanding of what you need, don't do it yourself with online forms. Go to an attorney.
No, I'm not. No, I would not do that. Okay.
Good. All right. Just want to make sure.
All right.
All
Thank
right,
you
Fred.
so much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right.
now.
Okay.
All right. And our last call is going to be Mike in Bay City. Mike, go ahead.
Hi, Carol. How's it going?
Great, Mike. Thank you for calling.
Good, good. Hey, I have a family member that has a revocable trust, and they were showing it to me. And I was just a little bit perplexed. I've never heard of it or seen it before, where the first, beneficiary, or the first, I don't know if you call it beneficiary or trustee, was their financial advisor. And then their second, or contingent was their daughter. Have you ever heard of that? Is that normal?
30 seconds.
It's not normal. And everyone has to make their own decision on who they're comfortable handling their finances if they can't, and wrapping up their estate.
So that
all right. Yeah, it was kind of a red flag for me.
That is unusual.
Yeah. Would be for me too.
That's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Quickly, the next seminar is
Wednesday, May 17th at the Horizon Center in Saginaw. Sessions at 10 and 5, and you can call 989-793-2300 to make a reservation.
But you must do that. Carol, as always, thank you, dear.
Thank you. This has been fun as always.
And we'll take our last break, and then we will be back to close out this hour and tell you what's ahead.
When was the last time you had a great steak? How about a seafood dish to die for? Your choice of sides, beverage, and a salad bar that's always fresh. How about lunch? Your choice of great sandwiches, wraps, soups, and of course, that always fresh salad bar. Breakfast? All your favorites. We're open weekdays at 7 a.m., weekends at 8 a.m. Fantastic made-to-order food with daily specials and homemade soups, plus their signature margarita and classic old-fashioned. Who are we? We are Sullivan's Food and Spirits, a tradition in Saginaw, 5235 Gratiot. Stop by. We'd love to serve you.
Hello, this is Carol Thomas, and my next seminars are coming up in Saginaw on Wednesday, May 17th. I will be presenting at the Horizons Conference Center on State Street. I have sessions at 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Please call my office to make a reservation. My phone number is 989-793-2300. Please call. My seminars always fill to capacity. I talk about wills and trusts, the importance of them to get assets protected if you ever need nursing home care. It's also extremely important to understand why you need a financial power of attorney. Why do you need a medical power of attorney? I've had so many people come to my office recently that I am not able to help because they do not have their documents set up. I think it's worth your time to come to one seminar, learn what you need to know, and then you can make the decision. But isn't it amazing? By coming to one seminar, you can learn how to protect your life savings. Please call my office at 989-793-2300 to make a reservation. I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you come to one of my seminars.
Today is the day. Today is the day you empty your garage and closets of your old tech. Today is the day you hang up on that dial-up modem. Today is the day you tell that old GPS to get lost. Because while Staples recycles old tech for free each and every day, today, during Staples' free Tech Take Back, Rewards members get $10 in Staples Rewards when they recycle their tech. Cut the cord on your old tech and recycle it at Staples. N617, limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
All right, that'll do it for this hour. The Art Lewis Show. Our thanks to Carol Thomas, who are in the offices of Carol Thomas, the law offices. Coming up, news at the top of the hour. Then we're going to talk about ADHD medication and its shortage when we return.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com. I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin with a critical vote on trans rights in the Northwest.
Guests will come to order.
It will come days after a protest that disrupted proceedings in the state legislature.
Montana Republican leaders today will vote to censure or expel transgender Democratic State Representative Zoe Zephyr. She's been silenced for her comments against a bill to ban gender-affirming care for children. Katie Spence is among her many supporters.
I elected her so she could come to Helena to speak for me, and now we are here to speak for her since she's been silenced.
Zephyr said those who vote to ban gender-affirming care for young people would have, quote, blood on their hands. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
The fate of the Proud Boys accused ringleaders is now in the hands of a jury. All five face the highest level charge levied so far, seditious conspiracy. Correspondent Scott McFarland is on Capitol Hill.
The group includes Enrique Tarrio, whose defense attorney told the jurors yesterday it was Donald Trump's words, his motivations, his anger that caused what occurred on January 6th.
President Biden meets with his South Korean counterpart at the White House today, where the two men plan to sign a military agreement. It'll pave the way for American nuclear submarines to dock in South Korea for the first time since the 1980s, a move that's likely to inflame tensions further with North Korea. A Florida man has been charged with murdering and dismembering an Uber Eats driver who made a delivery to his home in Holiday. Pasco County Sheriff Chris Noko.
We arrested Oscar Solis for felony murder in conjunction with a robbery because we were able to find the victim's wedding ring and car keys in another room in the house outside from where we believe the homicide occurred.
The sheriff says the driver's remains were found in trash bags and in a cooler. Parts of Yosemite National Park will close Friday with California's massive snowpack melting rapidly. Sharon Freeman is keeping track of water levels in northeastern Truckee.
We have this rock out in the middle of the river that we watch how high over that rock it's going. And it's way over.
Temperatures in central California could climb into the 90s today. The biggest beer maker confirms.
I got some Bud Lights for us.
Two marketing executives are on leave after a decision to hire trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney to push their product. The backlash was immediate. Bud Light sales plunged more than 17%. But marketing experts say the decision still plays well with young people who support diversity and want companies to take a stand on controversial issues. Dow up 2 points. This is CBS News.
Hire with minimal effort and maximum success with Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Hello, this is Carol Thomas, and my next seminars are coming up in Saginaw on Wednesday, May 17th. I will be presenting at the Horizons Conference Center on State Street. I have sessions at 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Please call my office to make a reservation. My phone number is 989-793-2300. Please call. My seminars always fill to capacity. I talk about wills and trusts, the importance of them to get assets protected if you ever need nursing home care. It's also extremely important to understand why you need a financial power of attorney. Why do you need a medical power of attorney? I've had so many people come to my office recently that I am not able to help because they do not have their documents set up. I think it's worth your time to come to one seminar, learn what you need to know, and then you can make the decision. But isn't it amazing? By coming to one seminar, you can learn how to protect your life savings. Please call my office at 989-793-2300 to make a reservation. I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you come to one of my seminars.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Live From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Mostly sunny skies and 37 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Perchup. STARS bus system in Saginaw is inviting the public to view and give feedback on the preliminary results of their site feasibility study. The open house event will take place May 1st from 9 to 6 p.m. at the Dow Event Center atrium. Topics covered will include potential expansion locations, site plans, and results of STAR's latest community survey. The Transportation Authority encourages both residents and community stakeholders to attend and join in. The Shiawassee County community is getting a new advanced manufacturing plant. LJ Incorporated, headquartered in Swartz Creek, is a family-owned company providing electrical, fabrication, automation, and robot integration solutions, controls engineering, HVAC, and computer service needs. It's buying 50 acres of land in Venice Township, where it will construct a 150,000 square foot facility to house the manufacture of autonomous dredges. The project will result in the first dredge company in Michigan and the first autonomous dredge company in the world. The project is expected to generate a total capital investment of $18.25 million and create 250 jobs with the support of a $2.5 million Michigan Business Development Program performance-based grant. For information on careers with LJ Incorporated, visit ljinc.biz/employment opportunities. Opportunities, health, and wellness, or just looking for local events, all of those resources will be in one location on Saturday. The Mexican American Council of Saginaw is hosting the first Latino Resource Fair in the Great Lakes Bay region from 1 to 4 p.m. Over 30 vendors will be available to answer questions and give insight on several matters, from health screenings to mental health workshops. Local organizations to have open conversations on how they can serve the community best. The fair will be at 1000 Tuscola Street and is open to the public. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
Who sells your soybeans overseas, increasing sales to Egypt, India, and many other emerging markets? Who has made you the #1 protein source in chicken feed? Who has made the next big breakthrough to boost your soybean yield? The answer to all of these questions is you. That's right, you do, through Your Soy Checkoff. By pooling your resources through Your Soy Checkoff, you are promoting your soybeans to new markets. You are discovering new practices and seed varieties to overcome your biggest challenges in the field. You have even turned $2 million of infrastructure research into $460 million per year in extra income for all soybean farmers. There is power in numbers, and you and your fellow soybean farmers are proving it by bringing tangible returns back to you and your operations through Your Soy Checkoff. You can see all the ways Your Soy Checkoff is moving soy forward for you at unitedsoybean.org. That's unitedsoybean.org. It's all about you doing things together as Your Soy Checkoff.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. State police have provided an update on deaths and injuries suffered on roadways in the state this year. 23 people died on roads last week, bringing this year's total to 268. In addition, 88 people were seriously injured, adding to a total of more than 1,200. There have been 3 more deaths and 45 more serious injuries than this time last year. A new president of the Michigan Education Association will take the reins in mid-July. Novi Community Schools teacher Chandra Madafari has been elected to a 3-year term.
The number one thing I want to do is help educators to be able to find joy in their profession again. So when a student says, I think I want to be a teacher, or I would like to work in a school as a paraeducator, or work in the front office, the teacher would look at them or any staff member and say, you'd be great.
Madafari says a lot of teachers left the profession during the pandemic over technology issues, and others because they were closer to retirement. What do 1,450 gallons of maple syrup, 7,000 pounds of sausage, and 2,600 pounds of pancake mix have in common? It's all part of what goes into this weekend's Shepherd Maple Syrup Festival, where the central Michigan town of 1,500 expects to welcome upwards of 20,000 attendees this year. The festival features 23 events with more than 200 vendors and runs from the 27th through the 30th. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at
Highs this Wednesday reach up to 51 degrees with
We should have just a couple of pop-up showers if you're north of the Saginaw Bay, and the best chance going to be in Alcona and Iosco County. A northwest wind today at 5 to 10 miles per hour. That wind becomes southeast tonight with a low of 32 and mostly clear skies. So freeze warnings likely again for this Wednesday night. And Thursday, a high of 61, partly to mostly sunny with a south wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Lows into the 40s Thursday night, so no worry of freeze warnings there. And then once we head into your Friday, a high of 58. That's where we're expecting more rain to start to move back into the area, especially if you're located in the Thumb. On Friday, more occasional rain showers into the weekend. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Mondro.
Current temperature at WSGW, 40 degrees.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Yes, the Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw. Newly expanded showroom, all kinds of products for you, everything you need for home decorating at Westside Decorating Center. We're going to begin this hour talking about medication that may be in short supply for an illness that's been known for a long time, ADHD. And with us this morning is an adult and adolescent psychiatrist. We say good morning to Dr. Gregory Mattingly. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Thanks for joining us this morning. I think before we get into the shortage of the medication, we need maybe a definition of ADHD because it's been around a long time, but I think it confuses a lot of people.
100%. So ADHD, or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is a condition that usually starts in childhood, but it may not be diagnosed when you're a kid. So we know the symptoms for a kid will be, problems concentrating, difficulty focusing, getting distracted, being impulsive, being a little restless, being a little fidgety. We know that, unfortunately, boys are more likely to get diagnosed when they have ADHD than girls, and a lot of girls slip through the cracks. They may not get picked up until they're teenagers, and they're getting frustrated, they're getting overwhelmed, they're starting to have anxiety because they're not doing very well. They're starting to fall behind. Or maybe a young boy doesn't get picked up until he's already having problems with, I'm falling behind academically, I'm having a hard time making friends. So now it's affecting my whole self-esteem and the way I view myself.
Is this the disease, if you will, that Ritalin was used for?
It was. So way back when, years ago, and I'll go back to when I first went into training, all we had back then was short-acting stimulants. And short-acting stimulants, even though they worked in some ways, they had a lot of side effects. And unfortunately, they could also be misused or diverted and things done with them they shouldn't be used for. So the trend over the last 30 years has been, how do we come up, instead of having to take a short-acting medicine 2 and 3 times a day that may get misused or may get diverted, how do we find medicines that we take once a day that are smooth and consistent, that meet the needs of where I have symptoms throughout my day?
Have we found that?
We have. There's over 30 different treatment options available right now in the United States for individuals with ADHD. Many of those are approved for kids, but a lot of them are also approved for adults with ADHD. And one of the things that we tend to forget about is it's not just stimulants. We have 4 non-stimulants that are approved for ADHD, 2 of those that are approved for adults, atomoxetine and Qelbree.
Are all of these readily available, or are we facing shortages in some of these medications?
Yeah, there is a nationwide shortage that's really been frustrating for our patients. Patients are having to go from pharmacy to pharmacy trying to find, in particular, it's those short-acting stimulants or Adderall. That's in short supply. It's probably going to stay in short supply. The good news is that's forced us to talk to our patients about, okay, what really would be the best treatment option? Is it something you have to take 2 or 3 times a day? Or could we get you on something that you take once a day that's just always there in a low level in the background to help overcome whatever symptoms or issues you're having with ADHD?
So the shortage of Adderall, is that due to manufacturers falling behind, or is it due to an increase in demand? Are we seeing more people with a need?
It's a little bit of both.
So during COVID, as people were, having to learn from home and going to virtual classes, as they were having to work from home, and they realized, hey, listen, I'm having a hard time concentrating. I've been this way as a kid, and now it hits me that I'm this way as an adult. Or I'm a parent. I'm sitting home with my kid watching them struggle to learn online. And I realized the things the teachers were telling me, hey, it wasn't just teachers telling me, I can see it with my own eyes. So we did see more people coming in for treatment for ADHD. Still, most people with ADHD, a lot of them are getting missed, but we did see those numbers go up. And we saw that the supply was fixed. So if you have increased demand with a fixed supply, you wind up with a shortage. And that's where we are right now.
So let's talk for a moment. You mentioned youth and what the symptoms might be. What are the symptoms for an adult with ADHD? How do they know they have it? And do they admit it?
Yep. It's similar, but a little bit different. So adults with ADHD, they're not hyper. They're not running around the room or running around the building, but they get bored easily. They have a hard time staying focused. They're forgetful. They have a hard time with time management where they may miss an appointment. And the people around them, that may feel like, hey, you just don't care. How come you're not trying? Why aren't you showing up?
And that's
because I get distracted. I don't.
Yeah. But that describes a lot of people, doesn't it? I'm just, I'm listening to that going, well, let's see, how forgetful am I? And what do I miss? A lot of it is routine for a lot of people, but some of it is more serious. How do you know when you cross the line and you need that psychiatric help as opposed to everyday life?
Yeah, it's a perfect question. And in the analogy I use is kind of like having to wear glasses. Okay, should everybody in the United States wear glasses? Of course not. You only wear glasses if you need glasses. So if your vision has a hard time staying focused, then you go out and get glasses or contacts. If you've had a lifelong history going back into childhood where I have a hard time staying focused, I get distracted, and now it's really causing difficulties in my life. Maybe when I was a young adult, I did okay, but now that I'm a parent and having to manage my kid's life, being distracted, having problems with being forgetful, it's affecting me in many places in life. I should go talk to somebody about why I have ADHD. Could a treatment make a difference for me?
And the treatment is different for everybody. It's not cookie cutter, is it?
100%. It's not a one size fits all. So if there's any good news for your audience out there, is we have a lot of treatment options out there that are different. Some of them are shorter acting, some of them are longer acting, some of them are once daily. So there's a variety of treatment options to meet your needs to help give you the best success when it comes to living your life and being successful for you, your kids, your family.
Is all ADHD treatable?
Not all, but I would say the vast majority. If you look at ADHD, if you say how much do they move the needle for improving symptoms, ADHD medicines in general improve symptoms more than a lot of others medicines like cholesterol medicines, blood pressure medicines, antidepressants. ADHD actually have higher.
And do most insurance companies cover these medications?
That's one of the good news in our country. We've broken down the stigma when it comes to brain health. These illnesses that affect the brain, be it depression, anxiety, ADHD. When I first started 30 years ago, there was a lot of stigma, and a lot of insurances had gaps in coverage. Now, pretty much all of those conditions are covered. Some of your insurances are going to ask you to use generic medicines whenever possible, and that makes sense. I want to be cost effective when I can be, but they are covered treatment options. And if you're struggling with ADHD or your kid is struggling, you deserve to have a better life where you can do better and be successful.
Where can folks get more information about this?
I'll give you two different resources. One is a patient advocacy group called CHAD. So these are parents and adults that have ADHD and are advocating for themselves. They make a magazine once a month called Attitude. It's a great magazine. It teaches you about ADHD. What is it? There's another resource that I'm a part of called APSARD, APSARD. It's the American Professional Society for ADHD and Related Disorders. It's a group of teachers, researchers, doctors, nurses, psychologists that talk about what is the state of the art of ADHD and how do we move the field forward. So APSARD.org.
And it's the last question. I started out asking about Ritalin, and there were a lot of news stories for a lot of years about overuse of Ritalin. Have we gotten beyond that? We got beyond that?
Let me just say, I think the trend is these days not to use short-acting stimulants much anymore. We know short-acting stimulants can be really effective, but they have a lot of side effects. You tend to kick in, then they wear off, you crash and rebound, and they have the risks of misuse and diversion. So I would say for most of my children and adults out there, the trend is to use long-acting once-daily medicines that avoid some of the problems we've had in the past with short-acting stimulants.
Doctor, where do you practice?
So I'm here in St. Louis, Missouri, right in the heartland of America. Washington University, I'm an associate.
All right, that's where I went to school.
There you go.
How about that? Very good.
Yeah. So it's a great place. And what I would say for your listeners, ADHD doesn't discriminate. No one asks to have ADHD, but it can hit anyone.
Yeah.
I take care of doctors, teachers, nurses. I take care of kids, adolescents, high school professors.
Well, Doc, thanks for spending a little time with us this morning. We appreciate it. And when you walk by my alma mater, wave at it.
I will. Take care.
Glad to have you with us. Thanks. Bye-bye now. Dr. Gregory Madeline, he is an adult and adolescent psychiatrist talking about ADHD. We will have open phones for the remainder of the program, 989-752-6111, whatever you want to chat about. We will also hear from Terry Henney a couple of times this hour. It's National Pretzel Day, and he's out at Weiss Farms. We'll find out more about that at the end of this break.
It's time for family fun at the 37th Annual Freeland Walleye Festival, April 27th through the 30th. Community-wide garage sales, the Walleye Festival Fishing Tournament, Cornhole Tourney, Midway Carnival Rides, 5 and 10K Run Walk, the annual car show, a disc golf tournament, kids trout pond, big entertainment tent, fireworks, and much more. Go to FreelandWalleyeFestival.com for tournament entry forms and for event information, or find them on Facebook. The Freeland Walleye Festival, this weekend.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher, helped by strong earnings from Microsoft and Alphabet. Also, Microsoft says it will appeal UK regulators rejecting its purchase of Activision Blizzard. Boeing shares opened sharply higher, up 4%. Its quarter was mixed, but it expressed optimism about its business for this year. It's also boosting production of MAX jets. Durable goods orders rose 3.2% in March, an upbeat reading helped by demand for airplanes. Health insurer Humana says it had a strong start to the year with more people signing up for Medicare Advantage. Chipotle Mexican Grill reported a better than expected quarter and says it will put a pause on raising. Chipotle shares opened up more than 9%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Kosova, invested in you.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-353-5566. That's 800-353-5566. 800-353-5566.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hi, everyone. It's Terry Henney. And today we are celebrating. We're at the Weiss Farms, located between Bridgeport and Frankenmuth on Weiss Road. And the reason why we're here is today is National Pretzel Day, April the 26th. Now, a lot of folks are not aware that the pretzels have long been considered a good luck symbol due to the religious roots of the pretzel. Salt? No, that just doesn't count. But they are called baldies for a really good reason, because without the salt, there's not much to a pretzel. More than $550 million worth of pretzels are sold in the United States every year. Now, how did Pretzel Day start? Well, again, as we said, April the 26th, and the holiday was created in 2006 by Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell, who thought that, hey, that's my favorite snack, and we have such a good time celebrating pretzels and pretzel snacks, it ought to have a day of its own. Is today. And we'll tell you a little bit more about pretzel making at the Weiss Farms when we continue our broadcast, go through the morning, and, of course, celebrate with a farm program coming up at 11:30. More coming up.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my Outdoor Magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 5 FM.
And let's go to our phones. They're locked and loaded. Carol is with us this morning. Carol, good morning to you.
Arthur, it is I. How are you? Well, I usually don't get to talk to you because I'm usually at work, but I have today off. I work for a pediatrician, and we experienced the calling around to try to find Adderall for a patient, because in Clio, that pharmacy, they didn't have any, and that was the default pharmacy for that child. So we had to call around and find another pharmacy and put it down that was the go-to pharmacy for that patient, because now with controlled substances, because those are controlled substances, be sent electronically via the computer, the doctor's computer, to that pharmacy. So we had to call around and find some place that had Adderall. And
was it reasonably close by, or did you have to travel a little?
It was within the city. It was within, it was within it was within Genesee County. Okay. So, and then there's two, on our end, at the pediatrician's end, there's two forms that we give the parent, and we tell the parent to give them to the teacher. One is called a Connors form, and the other one is called a Vanderbilt assessment. And both of them have a parent and a teacher aspect. And so we have to have both of those back. Doctor has to grade them, and there's an answer key. And if a child fails, XYZ amount on either one of those forms, then she's like, okay, I will start you on Adderall, and then you have to come back within 30 days and give us a report about how everything went, because it takes a while for the Adderall to take effect, and the parent has to be responsible and give it to the child in the morning before school. And then after that, it's every 3 months, because kids grow and they get bigger, so you have to adjust the dose based on the child's body size. So,
at least
they did find it, but some of the parents, they're not coming in every 3 months like they're supposed to with their child, and so the child goes off of it, and then they, start acting horrible in school again, And then the parent says, well, that medication didn't work and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, no, because you did not adhere to the the protocol that you need for this. And the doctors have a protocol that they have to do with these controlled substances every 3 months, and now my doctor doesn't do it, but some doctors require a urine sample of the child to show that it's actually in the child's system, so it's not being, as your first caller said, diverted.
Right.
And somebody else is using the medication other than the child. So, but
glad you're able to find it for them anyway.
Yeah, we were able to find it, but some of the parents that they don't adhere to the protocol,
right,
and then their child goes off of it, and then all of a sudden you have to get back on it again. Yeah, then they blame the medication.
Right.
So it's like, no, it's like it was your lack of protocol adherence that screwed this up. So
well, listen, we often pay doctors for advice and then go home and immediately disregard it. So I always wondered why we did that. So, all right. Good hearing from you.
Okay.
Thanks, Carol.
Okay, Arthur.
Keep
care. On keeping on.
I will. Thanks
Bye.
a lot. Bye-bye now. And let's move on to Al in Midland. Al, good morning.
Good morning, Arthur. I am an adult, and I was had ADHD all my life, and I've never been on any medication from it. Bless the school system; they put up with all my shenanigans and all my restlessness and nervousness. And
so you don't know whether you would have been helped by it or not.
No, that's true. The doctor wanted to put me on Ritalin, and Mother said no. And I had some very creative ways of dealing with it. When it was nap time, we were supposed to be on our nap time in kindergarten. I was playing with the toys because I didn't want to take a nap. And I had all the toys to myself. So everybody else was napping, and I was. So I had creative ways of dealing with it, and I still deal with it to this day.
Well,
and
everybody is different.
I'm a functioning adult. I must not have a very strong case of it, but I have enough of it where I don't complete tasks. I go off and wander off with the mind and thinking and doing other things, and I know I have it.
Oh, you got a lot of company.
I'm sure I do, but and the forgetfulness has been there. I never knew what to blame the forgetfulness on, but I guess that makes sense that it's part of that. So,
all right.
But one of these days, maybe if I get some health coverage, I might try some of the medications. But I've never been on any medication for it, so I must not have a very severe case.
All right.
There's a lot of us out there, Arthur.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
I know
you.
that. Thanks
Have a
lot,
nice
Al.
morning, sir.
You too. Bye-bye now. And let's talk to Paul in Saginaw before we take a break. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art. I got a couple issues regarding your your topic here. Wasn't there something in the news years ago about these college students when they wanted to pull an all-nighter cram session that they were using Ritalin to do that and abusing that product?
I don't remember. I remember stories about Ritalin, but not along those lines.
Yeah, they'd use it to stay up all night to cram for a test the
The only
next
stories
day.
I
and,
remember about Ritalin was its overprescription and that it was overused and things of that nature. But I never heard about the college kids.
Yeah. The other issue is a couple days ago when Carlson and Lemon were terminated. Also, PBS was the only news broadcast that I'm aware of that reported that Susan Rice quietly bailed out of Biden's administration. And that kind of indicates to me that she's either going to hitch her wagon to another candidate or even make a run for president herself, because Obama always wanted her to run for president after he left office. So what do you think about that?
I don't know, but I know the story's been out there. Not just PBS, because it's been online. It's been around. What she
Okay.
plans to do, I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever. So time will tell.
Okay.
I mean, people are going to come out of the woodwork now, because now that the two major candidates are both announced, you're going to find the minor candidates all coming out of the woodwork. I don't know if she is one or not,
Right.
but this will be the time we find out. All right, Paul, got to move along.
Right.
All right. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye
All
now.
right.
Scott, hold on. We'll get to you right after the break here on WSGW.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AA Wealth Management, LLC.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel is all conversation, so it gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
You'll really see a difference in how you can speak and how conversational you can be in just a few weeks.
Babbel isn't just lessons. You can listen to podcasts, play games, watch videos. You can even take live online classes with a language teacher. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel.
The lessons online and in the app make it easy to learn from pretty much anywhere. University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
And indeed, we're back with you, broadcasting from the law offices of Carol Thomas. She has seminars coming up on May 17th in Saginaw, but you have to call for reservations. It's absolutely free, but you call 793-2300, 989-793-2300. And get registered to attend one of the free seminars. Scott is in Saginaw, so we say good morning to Scott.
Hey, Art, I just have a couple things real quick. Yesterday you had a caller ask about what woke meant, and you said it was a derogatory term. Actually, I beg to differ with you because I think the term was started from the left to describe themselves, that they were woke against racism, they were woke against systemic this or that. And now it's just become a
Derogatory
bad
term.
egg, and so now you don't want it. Yes. Well, yeah, but it wasn't started by the right as a derogatory term. It's just because nobody really wants to be identified now. That's what you told the late. Well, anyways, and the other one is your firefighter friend. I can't pronounce his name. He called the other day and was complaining about books that Ron DeSantis was banning. And the only thing I can say on this is because I don't want to read or say anything that are in some of these books because I don't want to get kicked off the air. But I would challenge this guy to go look up books like Queer Gender and read a few pages of it, and you make a decision for yourself if DeSantis is doing the right thing. And I'll leave that at that. And the last thing is, on the 85,000 missing children, thank God there's a hearing going to be going on today, and the hearing is called the Biden Border Crisis. And it is an exploration of unaccompanied alien children. And the accusation against this administration is that the U.S. has become a middleman in a multi-billion-dollar immigrant child trafficking operation. So I guess we'll find out what's going on with this.
Well, if it happened.
Well, 85,000 children are missing.
Yeah,
We found
I
a few of them that
understand
were
part,
in a
but
few different.
let's not be accusatory before we know the facts. And you don't know the facts. I don't either.
Wow, that seems kind of weird that Donald Trump colluded with Russia 5 years, 10 years in a row now. Well, it's this. I'm just saying, a whistleblower is coming forward, and this is the accusation. I didn't say he was accused, or
Okay,
that I didn't say. I said that was the
Let's
accusation.
see what the hearing produces.
Okay. All right, and I'll let it go at that. I'll talk to you later.
Take care, Scott. Bye-bye now. All right, Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111, toll free 866-790-WSGW. I want to just touch on this briefly. There, I think, and they can correct me if I'm wrong at the station, but I think our current poll deals with the dismissal of Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon. One from Fox, one from CNN. And my question, and I might have mentioned this yesterday, I'm not sure, but my question regarding the two of them, and it's interesting, they both now have the same lawyer suing their respective employers, former employers. My question is this the start of a purge that's going to reinvent these networks? I'm not sure. I don't know. But I wonder whether that's what will happen. I just the timing is weird that both of the superstars of those two networks get dumped on the same day. But the other side of that coin is, who are they talking to? Tucker Carlson, audience about 3.5 million people. Don Lemon, average audience about 2.5 million people and declining. So if you added them up at any time, it's 6 million people. Population of the country is well over 330 million people. They are talking to a very, very, very small percentage of the population. No matter which of those networks you adhere to, if you are a fan of one or the other, Fox from the right, CNN from the left, doesn't matter. They are not talking to a huge amount of the American public. So it's just something to consider. We worry about these people, but really, they're well known because they're in the news and all of that stuff. But are they really influencing a huge part of the population? The answer is probably not. And by the way, I was wrong about the poll. The poll is another subject I wanted to talk about. Has to do with banning handheld phones while driving in Michigan. There is a proposal for that. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we'll also hear from Terry Henney again out at Weiss Farms during National Pretzel Day. And then we'll talk a little bit about banning of handheld phones should that happen. More ahead.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. A partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. A partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
You know, we all love a great snack. Well, what's truly amazing is that a lot of people, more than $550 million worth of folks, think that pretzels are a really good snack. We're talking about pretzels and the history of pretzels today as we broadcast from Weiss Farms, where they have fun with pretzel parties all season long, and we're having one here today. Cookies, pastries, chips, crackers, they make yummy snacks, but there's something about pretzels that you just can't resist. Now they can be crunchy or they can be soft. They can be large or small, sweet or savory, flavored or plain. Plus, pretzels come in many shapes: nuggets, sticks, twists, circles, and the traditional knot. We're going to tell you all about making pretzels and how many pretzels we can make and what those pretzels are made of as we go through our broadcast today at the Weiss Farms. Broadcast brought to you by the folks at Lingle Equipment, your one-stop Kubota shop, and by the Rummel Insurance Agency. More reports coming up next hour.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show from the law offices of Carol Thomas. Again, she has a seminar coming up on May 17th in Saginaw, 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. 2 seminars. They're absolutely free, but limited space. You need to call and make reservations at 989-793-2300. The number to call, 793-2300. All right, I mentioned that I wanted to chat about this just a little bit. It's the poll we have going on at WSGW. It has to do with, should there be a ban on handheld telephones in cars? A number of states have such a ban. You cannot use a handheld phone in a car unless you're using it on a hands-free system. And while Michigan has a no texting law, it does not have a ban on the use of a cell phone, a handheld cell phone. So the question is, should the state ban handheld phones? Well, I will tell you that I would support that ban because I have been cut off, almost hit on numerous occasions by people distracted by their cell phones. Texting is the worst because it takes your eyes off the road. At least with a handheld phone, you can keep your eyes on the road, but you get distracted by the conversation. Now, I know there's a lot of things in the automobile that distract you. Tuning the radio can be a distraction. Talking to someone who's riding with you is a distraction. But for some reason, handheld phones seem to be a plague, and they're causing a lot of problems on the roads today. So while I'm not a fan of Big Brother telling me what to do all the time, there are times when you have to say, well, what's right? 40 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about this because there weren't handheld phones. Well, when times change, you have to keep up with the times. And we have changed as a society. Everybody is using cell phones. So I have to admit, I would not be against banning the use of cell phones. I use mine in my car on a hands-free system, and I don't have a problem with that. Hands-free is fine. And I don't even have to take my eyes off the road because all the controls for it are on the steering wheel. I can push a button on my steering wheel and tell the phone to call somebody, voice spoken. I can answer the phone on the steering wheel. I can do everything on the steering wheel, and I don't have to be distracted from the road. So, I mean, and I think that's the wave of the future, to be honest with you. Errol's in Saginaw, so let's talk to our buddy from Canada, eh?
Can you control your boombox from your car, sir? You think that's the other stuff is annoying? Boomboxes drive you nuts on the road.
Well, they're not boomboxes. They're car audio systems that are very, very, very loud. Yeah,
may they go deaf?
Yeah, well, yeah. Before we do, listening to them. I have been alongside. I've been alongside some cars that have enormous boombox. That boombox sound.
Yeah.
And the bass actually rattles your car. That's how loud they're playing.
Oh, it sure does. It sure does.
So I don't know
they
what
don't
the
realize
advantage
it's a
is.
nuisance to everyone else around them.
Yeah, I don't know what the advantage is of listening that way.
You didn't think I was going to leave the other thing alone, did you?
What's that?
About the books. Okay. Now, this is to give an answer to. I'm not sure where he lives, and I don't care. But the Nazis did the book burning in the Second World War. If he'd like to read and find out why, because they didn't like the books. Okay, I don't care what books they carry in the library. I know the school libraries are not handing out books to kids that they're not age appropriate. I don't have any books in the house that my kids can't read unless. No, I don't let them read Stephen King anymore, but they're old enough to go on their own. But I don't want books banned, period. I don't care what their topic is. I choose not to read them. If people want to read them, enjoy your life. I don't care.
Does that apply to a 9-year-old who don't know any better?
No. Oh, yes, it does. No. 9-year-olds should be reading what their parents say they can read. 9-year-olds shouldn't be making...
Yes, indeed.
9-year-olds should not be making a choice of books in the school libraries, and I know that's not happening.
Well,
that's what they have librarians for.
Some of this stuff has to do with the fact that there are books in school that they don't want in school. I understand what you're saying, Earl, and at some level I do agree with you, but that's okay as long as the parents take enough interest in their kids' education to tell them the difference between right and wrong and what they read.
Well, I agree with. Oh God, that's scary. I agree with you 100%, but I don't. That's a slippery slope we get into.
Well, of course,
you know,
absolutely.
You start banning books, and pretty soon they don't want any. They want to take gun books away because they don't want guns on the street.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I hear you.
so you can't learn how to use them.
I hear you.
You know, I do not want that slippery slope in this country.
Yeah,
I didn't move here to
Yeah,
have
you
that
mentioned
slippery slope.
you mentioned the ban on guns, and I think the state of Washington just passed anti-assault rifle legislation. I predict
Yeah.
it will not
How
have
long
an
did-
iota of impact on the crime in the state.
No, that's right. How long do you think that's going to last when someone goes to court and says it's against the Second Amendment?
Well, it might last because you know.
I get-
Here's the other thing. I also have to point this out. The Second Amendment says you have the right to bear arms. Doesn't specify what that arm is. So if I took away all
That's
your
right.
guns but said you can keep your 9mm with a 10-round magazine, have I interfered with your right to bear arms? Or have I said to you, no, you
Nope.
can keep arms, but I'm not going to let you keep any kind of arm? Now, I don't agree with that. Don't misunderstand me, but I just point that out. Constitution does not specify what arm you can keep or not keep.
Yeah.
And there are laws,
I have yet.
reasonable laws as to what you can have and not have.
You know, it's I choose not to own one of those weapons. And when my girls were growing up, I used to. This guy, are you going to go deer hunting? I says, I got 2 little girls in the house. Do you think I'm going to bring Bambi home on a hook and we're going to have it for lunch? Are you nuts? You know, so that someone said to me the other day, we have a right to own weapons, but does it say in the Constitution that you're entitled to a bullet for it? I said, I don't know. I haven't read that part. I said, but interesting thought.
All right.
You can have the weapon, but you can't have the bullet.
Well,
So, anyways,
the right to bear arms would imply you'd have to have bullets to make the arm functional. So I would think that's part and parcel. All right. Talk to you later.
And whenever taking that to court, talk to you. So, bye.
Bye-bye now. All right, that's our last call for the day. We'll take a break, come back, and close out this edition of the Art Lewis Show right after these notes here on WSGW.
The Home Builders Association of Midland invites you to the Home and Outdoor Living Expo. Joint event sponsors Horizon Bank and Dow Credit Union, and support sponsor Rent Right. Saturday, April 29th, 9 till 6, and Sunday, April 30th, 11 till 4 at Dow Diamond in Midland. Visit indoor and outdoor exhibitors, concessions all weekend, and Family Fun Day sponsored by Lawrence Smith Windows and Doors on Sunday from noon till 3. Hourly giveaways and a chance to win a suite for 20 and a $500 food and drink voucher to a Loons baseball game.
Hello, this is Carol Thomas, and my next seminars are coming up in Saginaw on Wednesday, May 17th. I will be presenting at the Horizons Conference Center on State Street. I have sessions at 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Please call my office to make a reservation. My phone number is 989-793-2300. Please call. My seminars always fill to capacity. I talk about wills and trusts, the importance of them to get assets protected if you ever need nursing home care. It's also extremely important to understand why you need a financial power of attorney. Why do you need a medical power of attorney? I've had so many people come to my office recently that I am not able to help because they do not have their documents set up. I think it's worth your time to come to one seminar, learn what you need to know, and then you can make the decision. But isn't it amazing by coming to one seminar, you can learn how to protect your life savings? Please call my office at 989-793-2300 to make a reservation. I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you come to one of my seminars.
Do bank closures, inflation rate hikes, and the roller coaster of the market frighten you as much as it does me? You need to call Oxford Gold. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. One app, one call, and you pick the precious metals. That's it. You now own real precious metals. Call Oxford Gold today and learn more about the 1, 2, 3 protection plan at 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show today here at the law offices of Carol Thomas. Her seminar is coming up on the 17th of May in Saginaw at Horizons Conference Center, 10 and 5. But you must register. 989-793-2300 is the number to call, and it's absolutely free, and you'll learn a lot. Coming up on Focus, we'll focus on West Side decorating. All of that is ahead after the news, which is next.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kathan. There's a new push in Congress to limit kids' use of social media.
Our bill is a common sense, bipartisan approach following the Surgeon General's recommendations. It prohibits users under the age of 13 from accessing social media platforms.
Hawaii Democratic Senator Brian Schatz says the newly proposed measure would also call for parental permission on social media for those ages 14 to 17. Republicans in the Montana legislature could make a move today to censure or expel Zoe Zephyr, the transgender lawmaker who spoke out against a bill banning gender-affirming care for children. She says it smacks of what happened to the 3 Tennessee representatives.
Whether it's me on speaking on trans issues, whether it's young black men rising up and speaking about gun violence, those folks in power, particularly on the far right, do not want to be held accountable. And so, yeah, there's comparisons and it's very concerning.
A Washington jury is deliberating the fate of men prosecutors have labeled key players in the Capitol attack. CBS's Scott McFarland.
This is the longest U.S. Capitol insurrection trial to date. The 5 defendants are members of the far-right Proud Boys group, and they face the highest-level charge so far, seditious conspiracy, accused of plotting to block the peaceful transfer of power in America.
In New York, CBS's Graham Cates says testimony is beginning today in the civil trial about claims from a former columnist that Donald Trump raped her in a department store dressing room decades ago.
We expect to hear from at least one employee from the department store. We expect to hear from 2 friends who she says she told about this at the time. And of course, on Trump's side, they want to call into question that story that she told her friends about this.
Well, CBS's Cammie McCormick has more on the killing of an ISIS leader who orchestrated the 2021 airport attack in Afghanistan that killed 13 Americans.
The Defense Department issued a statement late last night confirming the death, but said it did not take part in the operation, which the National Security Council says was carried out by the Taliban. The U.S. learned of it through intelligence gathering.
Well, now to the White House. Pageantry to welcome South Korea's president. CBS's Nancy Cordes.
They've really pulled out all the stops for the South Korean president. They will hold meetings. There will be a formal press conference in the Rose Garden and, of course, a state dinner. The first state dinner of the Biden presidency that is actually taking place inside the White House.
More unease in the banking industry. First Republic stock is down around 30% today, and the Dow is down 85 points. This is CBS News.
Streamline how you hire with Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Hello, this is Carol Thomas, and my next seminars are coming up in Saginaw on Wednesday, May 17th. I will be presenting at the Horizons Conference Center on State Street. I have sessions at 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock. Please call my office to make a reservation. My phone number is 989-793-2300. Please call. My seminars always fill to capacity. I talk about wills and trusts, the importance of them to get assets protected if you ever need nursing home care. It's also extremely important to understand why you need a financial power of attorney. Why do you need a medical power of attorney? I've had so many people come to my office recently that I am not able to help because they do not have their documents set up. I think it's worth your time to come to one seminar, learn what you need to know, and then you can make the decision. But isn't it amazing? By coming to one seminar, you can learn how to protect your life savings. Please call my office at 989-793-2300 to make a reservation. I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you come to one of my seminars.
History is made and legends are born. The 2023 NFL Draft Watch Party this Thursday night, the Sense Sportsbook and Lounge at Soaring Eagle. Join Detroit Lions Herman Moore for a Q&A, plus Michigan sports legends and NFL experts breaking down who blew it and who blew it up. Enjoy $2 drafts, half-off wins, swag giveaways, and live music all night long. 2023 NFL Draft Watch Party at the Sense Sportsbook and Lounge at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, official partner of your Detroit Lions.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. A partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Well, the skies in 42 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Birchup. 2 people have been charged in the death of a West Branch mother of 5. The body of 36-year-old Heidi Dowd was discovered August 17, 2020, behind an abandoned building in Bay County's Mount Forest Township. She had been shot and her body burned. 45-year-old Aaron Wise, currently in prison on an unrelated matter, is charged with removing, mutilating, or disinterring a body for burning Dowd's body. A woman currently in custody in Arizona is charged with open murder for Dowd's death and is expected to be extradited to Michigan in the near future. A Flint area priest has pleaded guilty for a crime he committed in 1987. 84-year-old Vincent De Lorenzo, formerly of Flint, pled guilty to 1 count of attempted criminal sexual conduct in the first degree. He sexually assaulted a 5-year-old boy 25 years ago following a service he officiated for the boy's deceased family member. In exchange for his guilty plea, De Lorenzo's remaining charges will be dismissed, to sexual assault of a child from 1995 through 2000 at Holy Redeemer School and Church in Burton. His sentencing is scheduled for June 13th. When it comes to life superheroes, Deb Dutton is on top of the list, having dedicated more than 35 years to patients in the Great Lakes Bay region. In 2005, she began working with Gift of Life at Covenant Healthcare. Dutton will receive Gift of Life Michigan's Legacy Award for 2023 for her dedication to the assistance in the program. Gift of Life coordinates the recovery of organs and tissues for transplant patients. Dutton thanks 2 people who assisted in the beginning of her journey, Bill Jensen and Ray Kelly, but calls the true heroes the families of the loved ones who choose to help others in a time of tragedy. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
The Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame will be announcing the class of 2023 on April 27th, and you are invited. Each year, athletes, teams, and contributors who have made an impact on the community or local athletics are celebrated. You can be among the first to know who the lifetime voting members elected this year. For more information, go to SaginawCountySports.org or call 989-921-3677. Social hour begins at 5 p.m. Announcements start at 6. All happening inside the Castle Museum in downtown Saginaw. Food provided by Tom Wood Catering.
It's time for family fun at the 37th Annual Freeland Walleye Festival, April 27th through the 30th. Community-wide garage sales, the Walleye Festival Fishing Tournament, Cornhole Tourney, Midway Carnival Ride, 5 and 10K Run Walk, the annual car show, a disc golf tournament, kids trout pond, big entertainment tent, fireworks, and much more. Go to FreelandWalleyeFestival.com for tournament entry forms and for event information, or find them on Facebook. The Freeland Walleye Festival, this weekend.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. The former school board president of the Madison District Public Schools has admitted guilt in a pay-to-play scheme. Federal prosecutors say while 62-year-old Albert Morrison was president from 2012 to 2018, he accepted more than $550,000 in payments from John David, one of the owners of a building maintenance and reconstruction company. David, a co-defendant in the case, was awarded more than $3.1 million in maintenance and construction projects for the district. He pleaded guilty to bribery, conspiracy, and bribery earlier this month. Morrison has also pleaded guilty to tax evasion for not reporting the payments from David as income. A West Michigan school is being sued over a sweatshirt. 2 students near Howard City, north of Grand Rapids, wore a Let's Go Brandon sweatshirt. An assistant principal and teacher told them to remove it, saying it was profane and violated the dress code. Their attorney, Connor Fitzpatrick, with the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, disagrees.
The student sweatshirt is not profane. While Let's Go Brandon is a stand-in for another phrase that is profane, the phrase Let's Go Brandon does not have swear words. It is not profane. It is not vulgar.
Fitzpatrick argues the school district is trying to pick and choose which messages students are allowed to express. The district has about a month to respond to the lawsuit. Former Michigan House Speaker Rick Johnson has pleaded guilty to accepting bribes when he represented the state medical marijuana approval board. The 70-year-old Johnson was chair of the Michigan Medical Marijuana Licensing Board in 2017 when that board reviewed and approved licenses for businesses that wanted to sell medical marijuana. Johnson has been ordered to pay the government back $110,000, the amount he took in bribes. He was released on a personal recognizance bond. WSGW News Time 11:10. Here's WNEM First Alert meteorologist Matthew Monroe.
Highs this Wednesday reach up to 51 degrees with variably cloudy skies. We should have just a couple of pop-up showers if you're north of the Saginaw Bay, and the best chance going to be in Alcona and Iosco County. A northwest wind today at 5 to 10 miles per hour. That wind becomes southeast tonight with a low of 32 and mostly clear skies. So freeze warnings likely again for this Wednesday night. And Thursday, a high of 61, partly to mostly sunny with a south wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Lows into the 40s Thursday night, so no worry of freeze warnings there. And then once we head into your Friday, a high of 58, that's where we're expecting more rain to start to move back into the area, especially if you're located in the Thumb. On Friday, more occasional rain showers into the weekend. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Matthew Monroe.
Current temperature at WSGW, 42 degrees.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
That's right, RoofMax. Safe, affordable, easy alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement. You can find out more about it online at getroofmax.com, RoofMax with 2 X's. Or you can call Ben at area code 989-859-6751. RoofMax, the affordable alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement. Today, we talk to our friends at Westside Decorating Center in Saginaw at 5789 State Street, sponsors of the Art Lewis Show. And with us, the owner, Mike Stoddard. Mike, good morning. Mike,
good morning, Art.
There you are. And also with us this morning, one of the home decorators, Sonia, is with us this morning. Sonia, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. So, Mike, let's talk about, first of all, the expansion and how well it's working out for you.
Yeah, it's working out great. For those that haven't been in our store recently, in the last year, we were able to double our showroom space. We took over the suite next to our office there, the Saginaw Spirit. Some new product lines. So now we have area rugs. We've expanded into some designer wallpapers. And now we sell countertops, quartz, granite, and porcelain countertops.
And that is totally new for you, isn't it?
Yeah, the countertops came in just before Christmas, so we have all the displays right in our main showroom.
And Sonia, what has this expansion done for the decorators who go out to homes?
So we have a lot more product offerings because of the extra space. And so not only can they come in and see all new products and more everything, wallpaper to flooring, but we're unlimited with options now.
And that makes the job a little easier, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Or does it make it more difficult because of all the choices?
It depends on which way you look at it.
It's sort of like the old days of wallpaper books, like, oh, where do I start?
Yeah. We've got some exclusive wallpapers and floors and window treatments now. So we do try to make it easy. We try to walk you through every step if you want it. If you want to come in and just meander through the store, you're welcome to do so. But we are always just a phone call away as well.
So Mike, have we as a population settled down on our choices of home decorating? Because, for a long time it was trends. You did this year and the next year it was out of style. Have we gone back to a more, for lack of a better word, neutral position on how we decorate our homes?
I think you're kind of right there. We are, and we see a lot of people that are getting ideas online. So whether it's Pinterest or a home design TV show that people are watching, they're kind of grabbing a lot of different ideas from a lot of different places and coming up with their own spin on things. So I'd say we're, like you said, more in a neutral ground than we used to be following trends.
How are the manufacturers doing with new technologies and new product lines?
Really well. Raw material shortages are pretty much over in the paint industry. There's still bits and pieces there where there's a few products that might be hard to find, but for the most part, everything's back to normal there. And now I think you'll see some of the manufacturers, start coming out with some newer products, like you said, new technology. In the last several years, it's been either antimicrobial paint finishes that can maybe kill or combat bacterial infections on surfaces, or it might be a mold or mildew proof paint, and we've had those for several years. But every 5 or 6 years, there seems to be some big push for new technology in the paint industry.
Well, the biggest, of course, at least from where I sit, being a layman, the biggest seemed to me to be the advent of ceramic technology. Are they experimenting with things beyond that? I mean, have you gotten any inkling that there's life after ceramics?
The ceramic coatings that we carry, there's such a tough, durable finish. They basically make the paint almost impenetrable to stains or things seeping into the paint to cause a stain. And there's really not much else better than that on the market. Those ceramic paints have been around, but there's still newer technology, and they keep kind of enhancing the ceramics as far as coming out with a bigger breadth of products. So now we have ceramic exterior paints, mold and mildew proof bathroom paints, cabinet paints that all have the ceramic in them. So the product line is growing, and I think it's still the best paint you can buy on the market.
For almost all purposes, right? I mean, are there things that you would not put ceramics on? For example, is there ceramic trim paint?
There is. Yep. Ceramic is great for trim and cabinets and doors, anything you need to be very, very durable. They make ceramic wall paints if you need super scrubbable walls in maybe a nursery or a hallway or a kitchen or bathroom. The areas that maybe I wouldn't put a ceramic paint on, decks are usually coated with like a solid or a semi-transparent stain. Maybe basement walls treated with a waterproofing paint instead of a ceramic paint. So there's definitely uses, but there's also specialty products for those other surfaces.
All right, guys, hang on. I got to take a break, and we'll come back. We'll talk more with Mike Stoddard and Sonia from Side Decorating Center in Saginaw. In this day and age, we're asked to do more for less. So when you spend approximately a third of your life in bed, you really need quality sleep. And you can get that sleep on a sanitary mattress. They've been making custom mattresses since 1935. Rest assured, the sanitary mattress you're sleeping on was made right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Further, the money you spend stays right here in the local economy. In addition, Sanitary Mattress offers 1 hour delivery window of your mattress to your home, so you don't have to wait around all day. Sanitary Mattress can also make a custom mattress for your RV or boat, something the box stores can't do. The next time you need a mattress, think of Sanitary Mattress. Put them in your GPS at 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, or call them at 989-753-1757. Check them on the web at sanitarymattress.com. They're open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sanitary Mattress Company, where you'll find everything from a crib to a king and everything in between.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Today we're celebrating National Pretzel Day, April the 26th, and we're celebrating at the Weiss Farms in the Frankenmuth area. They have pretzel parties all year long, and this year, this day is a really special day, and the folks at Weiss Farms want you to know all about pretzels. The origin of the pretzel came in a monastery where pretzels have religious importance. In the Middle Ages, monks gave away pretzels to the poor, so they were seen as a religious symbol that provided sustenance, good fortune, and prosperity. And then as the decades went on, it actually had a number of other positive attributes assigned to the pretzel. Royal couples in Switzerland used to break a pretzel at their wedding ceremonies with the phrase, tying the knot. And that became very popular in the late 1600s. Well, we're not tying any knots today when it comes to a religious ceremony, but we are when it comes to making pretzels. We'll tell you a lot more about pretzel making here at the Weiss Farms in the Farm Show, which will be happening here in just a moment or two. Our broadcast today brought to you by the folks at your one-stop Kubota shop, Lingle Equipment, and by the Rummel Insurance Agency.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, talking to Mike Stiver, the Westside Decorating Center in Saginaw. Sonia, what's new in the shade and blind world? Because that one is one that technology has invaded, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. So pretty much all of the manufacturers have gotten on board with new Bluetooth technology, and they're making it so much easier, not only just to operate, but to program. So I don't know, I think back to my trying to figure out how to install or program a VCR back in the day,
VCR, yeah.
and how technical it was. Yes, and so now it's just as easy as plugging in a shade, entering a little bit of information in your phone, and it's all set. So you're operating your shade from your tablet or your phone instead of a remote control, which they still make those. But you can also have it hooked up to a switch on your wall to make it even easier, along with setting scenes. So just like your thermostat, you can have your shades raise and lower at certain times of the day or evening. I mean, it's just the possibilities are endless right now.
And they can all be custom made for each individual window size.
Yes, so that's what we specialize in, custom made window treatments, curtains, blind shades for your size window. So you don't end up getting a 64-inch blind in a 55-inch window. You don't have a giant stack at the bottom or a wide overlap on the sides.
Yeah.
Really sets you apart from just something that you buy off the shelf.
Mike, let's turn our attention to outside, because the temperatures, they really will warm up, I promise. At what temperature can we start thinking about painting outside?
Sure. So it depends on the substrate you're painting. We always tell people that we want the substrate to be clean and dry. That's the two main things, whether you're painting the side of a house or a deck or a fence. Big thing this time of year is just looking for moisture content. If you're painting wood or decks, you want the moisture content to be lower than 12% if you're painting wood outside or staining. But that moisture will get out of the wood, like you said, once those warmer temperatures come and the sun starts to help us out a little bit. So if you're painting vinyl or aluminum, something that doesn't soak up moisture, 50 to 60 degrees, you can start painting. We do have low temperature paints that go all the way down to 35 degrees.
Wow. But you don't have low temperature painters.
You have to wear mittens, you know.
That's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem.
Yep.
And how about decking and doing decks? Same thing. You have to wait.
Yeah, same thing. I would wait a little longer just because the decks are so close to the ground. They're usually absorbing some moisture from the surrounding area. So waiting for a little bit better weather, maybe about 70 degrees is nice. And again, check that moisture content to make sure we're not painting wood that's too moist.
Yeah. So what kind of hours are you keeping?
Yeah, so during the week, Monday through Friday, we're open 8 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. And then on Saturdays, 9 until 3 o'clock. Phone number is 989-793-6182. And we can always have people contact us on our website, westsidedecoratingcenter.com. And something new, if people want to text us instead of call, they can just text our regular phone number.
And Sonia, same numbers to get your help to come out to the house and help them with their decorating problems?
Yes, you'll just ask for the decorating department.
Very good. Mike and Sonia, it's always fun chatting with you. And we will do it again.
Thank you, Art.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one. Bye-bye now.
Yep,
Mike
bye-bye.
Stoddard and Sonia from West Side Decorating Center. And if you need help decorating your home, that's the place to be with their newly expanded showroom at 5789 State Street in Saginaw. We'll take our last break. When we come back, we'll find out what's happening in the marketplace. We expect to hear from Steve Anderson at Baird & Company with our ticker tip of the day.
We now call to order the meeting of extraordinary heroes. Thunderfoot, here. Mega Maiden,
Let's go.
Wheat